shoveling snow, which obviously in Michigan, generally you're shoveling snow. Do you have snow yet?
Very little, like a light dusting. It's kind of pathetic.
Shoveling snow when it's not freezing out can be very therapeutic.
Yes, but in December, not in March.
True that.
You know what I mean? Like
yes.
By the time March rolls around, nobody wants to be shoveling snow, regardless of the temperature. What you know what I mean? So I think when that first initial few months of winter roll in, and it's like all pretty and sunny and snowy, and you're out there and you get the heart rate going, it's a little bit of fresh air and some exercise for you. Absolutely, it can be therapeutic. But when you're doing it in March, you're just pissed off and over it and like angry at the world.
Would you go to November as well, or in Michigan, do we have to go back to October?
You're not shoveling in October. Like you'll get snow, but it's nothing that you have to, do any work for.
All right. I'm totally into it. Like I always said, a friend of mine's father died when we were in 8th grade shoveling snow, and I always said I wouldn't shovel, and I don't. I kind of just push when it's like that high. But man, it's therapeutic in my world. I like it. I like it a lot. I
have to admit, I haven't shoveled a ton of snow in my day. I kind of dodged those bullets growing up and left Michigan when I was 18. But I don't hate it right now, I guess.
Parents, and I do this. My daughter's sitting right over here, and it annoys the living hell out of my kids occasionally. Parents should never, ever, no matter how old the child is, admit that there's no Santa.
No, I mean, you got to come clean at some point.
Never? Laura,
did you just admit that you lied?
If you're not nice, Santa's not getting you anything, Laura. She's sitting over here.
Oh man, maybe you can almost take the reverse. Like they should never tell you there's a Santa because they just lie to you and fill you with false hope. My parents had a very good approach. So I found out at a fairly young age, and I'm a big Christmas person. Like I was the dork kid. I had to have my own tree in my room, like decorated, the whole deal. I wanted a Christmas ornament every year for Christmas. Like I was kind of Christmas obsessed. But my sisters would also say that's because I was spoiled and got whatever I wanted. But I found out a little young, and my mom, I thought, handled it very well. And she said, like physically, he is not real, but his spirit is real. Wow. And the spirit of giving and kindness and spreading joy and doing for others. And so I remember thinking like, okay, I could reconcile that loss of, there was no man actually coming down my chimney, but there was a magic and a spirit of Christmas that was real. And so I held on to that.
Damn, that's a Hallmark movie right there. Holy cow.
Cue the sappy music.
I just tell my kids, shut up, Santa's real. I know you're 26 years old. I don't care. He's real, and be nice.
I love it.
All right. Has anybody ever used mistletoe to steal a cheap kiss from you in high school or college or post?
No.
Like walk around like a dork, you know what I mean?
No, I think mistletoe is like the most ridiculous. Like, I don't even, like, who hangs it? Like, what? No, outside of a Hallmark movie or like a cheesy 1970s Christmas movie, like, is mistletoe still a thing? Is it still around? I don't know. No, the mistletoe thing is definitely one Christmas tradition.
I was looking for things to ask you, and I remember a dorky kid when I came back from college my freshman year and went to a party. You know, you come back from college, somebody's having a party, and he walked around like this, So
that poor man, you wonder where he is now.
I don't remember much, but I can still see that clown, and I know his name, but I'm not saying it because he literally, hey, go give me a kiss. Like, shut up.
It's so dumb. They have like the headbands with the things sticking. No, that's terrible. Don't ever do that.
That was the precursor to the 2 beer cans on the side with the straw that comes in.
But that's cool. Like, that's cool. I'm down with that. Like the head bong thing. We're good with that.
No, you're not.
Better than the mistletoe.
I agree. It's better than a mistletoe. But if some dude walked up to you with 2 beer cans on his head, you're like, hey, pal, you got 2 choices. I'm going to punch you. I'm calling the cops. You're not going to sit there and go, hey.
Now, if I was 25, I might share one with them. But yeah, much more mature now.
A palm tree lit up and decorated, like this isn't a palm tree,
Hopefully
but my little tree here. A palm tree is inadequate replacement as a Christmas tree.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. You have to remember, I lived in Florida for like 12 years. I love Christmas lights on a palm tree. I am all for it. I am all for it. There's nothing wrong. You decorate whatever tree fits your fancy, however you want. It's all about making you happy. So I'm all for Christmas lights on palm trees, 100%. I still think you should get a regular tree, but if you don't, like, I'm okay with that too. I love it.
Do you know what drunk Amazoning is?
No, but I can guess that it's like shopping on Amazon when you're drunk.
Yeah. I bought two things. When my daughter, my wife, and I sit around and drink wine, we make plans to go to like Japan for the Olympics, or I buy stuff. Okay. One I bought was a palm tree to use at Christmas, a lit up palm tree. The other I bought was a bearskin rug. Like, I'm always wanted to have a bearskin rug. And this thing, it's a $2 billion business, Allison.
Bearskin rugs?
No, drunk Amazoning. It's a $2 billion business. We took both back. But I'm a big fan of the palm tree lit up. I think palm trees lit up can go anywhere at any time.
Yeah, you can leave them up all year, really.
Yes.
Yes. If you ever go to Fort Lauderdale, I know you're on the other side of the state. But I lived in Fort Lauderdale, and Las Olas is like their main street. And they would light that place up, and there was lights on all the palm trees, and they would have Christmas on Las Olas, and it was like my favorite thing. But I feel like they have lights on them all year round now. They do the white lights and they just leave them up, and they're beautiful.
All right. When I got divorced, I liked lights, so I put lights up in a tree for Christmas. I left them up for 2 years. I finally got a letter from the homeowners association saying, you got to take these lights down. Like, what are you doing?
I can't believe it took them 2 years.
I couldn't either, really. What happens is the lights grew into the bark on the tree. Does that make sense? Because I wrapped it around. So I had to dig these lights out.
You'd like chip them out?
Yes. Don't do that.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
All right. This is an ongoing argument between Lee Ross and myself.
I'm siding with Lee. I can tell you already.
I know you are, and that sucks. As soon as I came out of my mouth, I said, of course she's siding with Lee. But I'm not sure you will in this.
Okay.
She lived in Syracuse for 10 years. I assume, and I know you've done games in Syracuse, right? Mm-hmm. Middle of the winter. She refers to the winter in Syracuse, New York as, quote, pristine. I refer to the weather in Syracuse in the winter as horse shit. What side do you take?
I'm with you on this one.
I know.
Syracuse in the winter is terrible.
Yes.
It makes me angry. It is so gray and windy and terrible and cold. I actually did a piece one time up on the roof of the Carrier Dome.
I remember.
To show how they deal with the snow and get the snow off and that whole deal. And I just remember thinking, like, whatever these guys are paid, it's not enough.
Right.
But the other side of it, I mean, and look, all the love to all of our friends that went to Syracuse, but there is something absolutely beautiful about a freshly snow-covered landscape, right? With the way, like, the twigs of the trees have 3 inches of snow and they're only, like an inch thick, and it's beautiful, and the ice and all that, but you have to have nowhere to go. That's the key. Like, if you want to enjoy the beauty of the snow, you can't have to get out in it and go anywhere. And when we're in Syracuse, you have to get somewhere, you have to do something, you have to go somewhere, and you're like sloshing through the melted, gray, dirty snow, sleet, whatever crap it is. It's too much of a city to enjoy. And not that it's a huge city, but it's too much of a city to enjoy the beauty of the snow. You need to be out in nature and like surrounded by hills and trees and lakes and that type of scenery with like wine and a fire lit and nowhere to go, cozied up, and then you can enjoy it from inside looking out. When you have to be out in it and like go to a game at Syracuse, no, thank you. Although the worst, Double D, remember when we had what did they call it? Like the snowpocalypse or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And we had Ohio State, Michigan State. Remember trying to get to that game? That was terrible. I think it took me almost 3 hours to drive from Metro to East Lansing, which should have been 45 minutes.
They told me it was minus 23 degrees.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, and
what was that called? The vortex.
The polar vortex. Thank you.
Vortex.
I was trying to blank on that. Yes. And they almost canceled the game because they had to cancel class, and they couldn't play the game. So then they had classes resume at like 5:00 that night so they could play the game at 7. It was insane. It was insanely cold and miserable.
The head of health services at Michigan wrote a scathing letter to the athletic director and to ESPN because I made the comment, well, with no school tomorrow, students are going to go to Skeeps and other places. And whoever this person was just got pissed off because I guess we were supposed to stay inside under blankets in a fire, right?
Stupid.
It was so dumb.
Yeah.
I'm glad. See, I also contend this. I'm going to add this to the Syracuse conversation. You've been there. I've been there. There's no parking at the Carrier Dome, whatever the hell it's called now. The weather sucks, yet there get 26,000 people in there. It's one of the most amazing attended places for how awful it is to get there and how bad the weather is. It's a story unto itself, the attendance that Syracuse gets.
Yeah, absolutely. Because once you get there, it's great. It's just getting there. But people in Syracuse, again, what else are they going to do that time of year? I mean, you got to park it like Manly and take a trolley over. It's like, what? Dude, they're tougher people than we are. Okay. We're soft. They're used to it. They're chiseled veterans. They know what they got to do. They got the trick sound. They got the Sorel boots, the waterproof boots, and they're like all in. We're soft and we've got to wear dress shoes or whatever into the game. It's a different ball game for us.
Excuse me, Mr. Driver. I don't want to walk across the street. Can you
give me a covered? It's lightly snowing, and I just did my hair. Can you get me a covered entrance?
Yes. That's what I said all the time when I was doing the swoosh. I said, hey, I just did my hair. I don't need it blowing that way. That's
I finally got it in place.
Yes,
minimum bald exposure.
I just sprayed half a can on here, Gene Katie style. I got to get right into the door. You're the best. Have a Merry Christmas.
Highlight of my week right here. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks, A-Dubs.